Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. Hello everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for Arrow Season 4, Episode 2, The Candidate. I'm your host, Clio. I usually am not framed like this. I usually framed a little differently, but hello! Welcome to the One Woman Podcast. Hopefully it won't be one woman for too much longer, but I've been so busy that I can't schedule times properly. As you may have told, this is late. It's a little late. I'm sorry. I will not do it again this season. Now that I've promised it, I'm going to do it again, and it's going to be embarrassing. But this episode was pretty good. I thought it was very good. I kind of found it a little weird that we're, like, just meeting their family friend for, like, the first time, and it's been 4 seasons, but it's fine, whatever. I got over it pretty quick. Jessica something. Shoot. Chastain. No, that's not right. Jessica Danforth. Is she sure? Jessica Danforth was running for mayor of Star City. Which it's a kind of a terrible position because people keep dying, and it's bad to be in government in Star City. I was just gonna call it Night Vale. I was just gonna call it Night Vale because I've been listening to the Night Vale audiobook. It's very good. But yeah, I don't know. She seemed like really tenacious. Like she was gonna get the job done. And then she had to have a daughter, you know? Like, who does that? Have a daughter who gets kidnapped. I'm kidding, obviously. But yeah, her daughter gets kidnapped. That's gonna make you drop out of the race real quick. But I mean, she said when her daughter got kidnapped that... Oh no, she said before her daughter got kidnapped that she wasn't gonna back down just because they threatened her. They threatened her daughter, so that's why she backed down. Which is really upsetting because it's like, you know, someone's gotta do it, and that leads Ollie to bad choice number 1 of this episode. To be completely fair, not all the bad choices in this episode were Ollie's. In this episode was Ollie's bad ideas. The other one is Laurel's, but we'll get to that later. Ollie's bad ideas to run for mayor. So he said we need someone who can defend themselves, and who... What was his words? It's actually quoted on the wiki. Someone who can do things in the light, who isn't afraid, someone who can protect himself. I'm gonna run for mayor. Yeah. He's a fucking idiot. He's an idiot because he's doing what you should never do with your alter ego, and that's to draw attention to him or her. You know? When, I mean, there's a reason Clark Kent is sort of like... he's a good reporter, but he's sort of like off to the side. He's not the Lois Lane who is like the fame, like she is known. You know? So that's why I think it's a bad idea. I don't think it's gonna last very long. Or who knows, maybe someone's gonna run against him. That would be really interesting. Because when Jessica stepped forward, no one else was running, because no one wanted the job. You know, you couldn't pay anyone enough to take that job. I don't know, we'll see how that works. I don't think it's gonna work very well. Speaking of the kidnapped daughter, she was kidnapped by a wannabe Hive agent, not an actual Hive agent. He's desperately trying to get in with Damien Dark and impress him, and Damien's just like, you're an asshole. Like, Damien called him an asshole? That's bad. That's not... You should probably stop doing whatever you're doing. But he failed, you know, to impress him. And, yeah, we're getting, like, glimpses into Hive. Very slow glimpses into Hive. And I just so badly want to see more. So badly. Because I think, was he the one? I actually don't even remember the dude's name that was, that wanted to be a Hive agent. But he, like, had taken someone's tooth. Was playing with somebody's tooth. Like, I would assume it was another Hive agent, but I don't actually know. I don't know. The kid was generally uninteresting and uninspired, which I think was on purpose. So, I mean, that's well done. But that's why I don't remember much about him. It was like, you know, Damien Dark's the interesting one. And we're seeing more of how his brain operates and how he builds his organization. Can't wait. And I know Deadshot's not dead. I know he's not dead. He's still alive. He's somewhere. That reminds me, speaking of Suicide Squad, if you watch The Flash, the most recent episode, there was something with exploding heads. So I'm thinking that what happened in that episode could be like a glimpse of how Deadshot got the bomb out of his head, you know? You know what I mean? Yeah. So, that's just, I wanted to put that out there. For all you Flash fans will know what I'm talking about. I don't want to spoil anything for you. Oops. I thought that was finished. I'm a professional. Anyway, yeah. So all you Flash fans, I don't want to spoil anything for people who don't watch Flash, but if you watch this episode and know Flash, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Moving on. Yeah, no, Lance is still going to Damien. I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, Lance, what are you doing? You can't be, he's so desperate. He's so desperate. But it's just, listen, when that comes to light, all you can be like, what the fuck, dude? Get it together. I'm so afraid something really, like, he's already got shot in the arm or whatever. But I'm just so afraid that something really bad is gonna happen to Lance. I'm not ready for that. I like him too much. Yeah. Meanwhile, Flash 2, Palmer Industries. Palmer Tech? I don't know, I'm losing track of these corporations' names. Felicity! That's what I was... brain fart. Felicity has to downsize. They're making her fire people. Which is, like, you know that board. They're like, you cut our bonuses enough already. It's like, bitch, I doubt it. Fucking doubt it. But anyway, that's not the point. So they send Mr. Holt, Curtis Holt, who is very cool. I like him, like, immediately. He sort of walked up, started saying stuff, and I was like, I like you immediately. Like, I had a similar reaction to a new character in The Walking Dead, where I was like, I already love your character, and you've said about 2 things. So yeah, he's got this whole algorithm of who would be the most cost-effective people to fire, which he later tells Felicity that it was meant to find ways to raise people's pay, to give them, like, a living wage and fair payment. But obviously management was like, nah, we can do the exact opposite, it's perfect. And Holt, who wanted to keep his job, like most people, sort of had to comply. Really sucks. But Felicity comes up with it's really a harebrained scheme that's not even a scheme. It's just like, we're gonna come up with something that's gonna save the company. It's gonna be revolutionary. You can do that, right, Curtis? You can take care of that, right? You can come up with something. But Curtis is many people know or have read or whatever, he's going to be Mr. Terrific. I know nothing about Mr. Terrific. So it's going to be, and I haven't looked him up. So if you want to say something about him, or if you know something about his origin that relates to this episode, no spoilers please, but put it in the comments, because I would like to see how it relates. I'm like, especially for Mr. Terrific, like other characters, I've looked him up and been like, oh, what's their act, you know, but with Curtis, I like him so much, I want to see him evolve on his own and like not have the influence of the comics in my brain. So it's gonna be interesting. I really would like to see what they do with this character. I'd really like to meet his husband too. He's like a less hyper Felicity in the nerdiness and awkwardness that they embody. I think they're gonna be really good friends, and it's gonna be adorable, and I can't wait. But yeah, so they're gonna have to come up with something, or the company's gonna get buried. I don't know why I said buried. Moving on. Laurel and Diggle. Diggle's obviously still got the biggest grudge of all time, and Laurel's kind of like, okay, real talk, buddy time, friend time, tell me what's up. So thank God, he tells someone about Hive and about Deadshot, and his fears of what Roz meant when he said he's got a hive of agents. So at least he's told someone. And Laurel kind of lays down, you know, like, the wisdom, and gives him, like, some great advice that I freaking wish someone would give her right this very moment. But that scene, that exact scene, I just hear all these people hating on Laurel, and I love Laurel, and I'll defend her to the death, but that scene, the scene with her and Diggle, is why I love Laurel, because she's just so compassionate, and kicks so much ass, and takes nobody's nonsense. Love it. It's great. But boy, does every now and then she need a swift kick to the head. So yeah, Thea gets really like scary this episode. Goes off the handle, and at the end, Ollie's finally like, okay, listen, you died, and I brought you back. And Merlin told me not to because it would make you crazy, and that's why you're going crazy. So she knows now, but so does Laurel. She's like, wait, you brought her back from the dead. It's like, yeah, but the mostly dead. So she gets the brilliant idea to dig up the year dead. She's been dead a whole year. Here's dumb idea number 2. Sarah's been dead a whole freaking year. Laurel's plan is to dig up her decomposed body and stick it in the Lazarus pit. I don't think it works that way. But clearly that's what's gonna happen. You guys remember me going on my theories of how Sarah's still alive, right? You remember. And I specifically said there's no way they could dig her up now, currently, because she's been dead for way too long. And it doesn't make sense. So I'm just worried that whatever happens is not going to make sense, and I'm going to be mad at it. is all I have. I'm trying not to get so worked up. But actually now I'm having trouble predicting what's coming next, because I never saw this as a possibility. I straight out said, that won't happen, because that's stupid. And now it's happening, and it's stupid. So I'm going to stop trying to, come up with what could possibly happen next. I don't know. Yeah, so what I wanted to talk about was the next couple of episode titles. So we've got Restoration, obviously we know what next episode's going to be about. Beyond Redemption, Haunted, Lost Souls, Brotherhood, Legends of Yesterday and Dark Waters. Most of those I don't really know what exactly they're going to be referring to, but, and I try not to read descriptions too far ahead, because CW descriptions tend to be pretty on point, so I avoid them. But Brotherhood and Legends of Yesterday, I can't freaking wait for. It's going to be great, because Brotherhood's obviously going to revolve around Damien Dark, and because my theory is he's Brother Blood, or he is Brother Blood. I don't know why I think, no, Damien Dark is Brother Blood. I don't know, I keep getting, like, confused with the comics in my brain, but he is. So that's obviously going to be more about the organization and more about Hive. And we're probably not going to get many actual answers about Hive until then, which sucks, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes from now. It's a long-ass time from now. But there's probably going to be fucking plenty to do. Plenty to cover until then. And then Legends of Yesterday, which is the episode after Brotherhood, I've been racking my brain about, because so there's something that's going to happen in The Flash, and I can tell it's not a spoiler. And I know something big's going to happen is because for the Arrow we have 9 episodes of titles. For The Flash we have 4. 4. So something huge is going to, or 5, 4 or 5. But something huge is going to happen halfway through this first half of the season that the rest of the season's titles would spoil. That's what that means to me. So something, I can't. I seriously don't. Me and Dom have been just, like, speculating, and then after we speculate, I'm like, but I have actually no idea. Actually no idea at all. It's just, you know, everything can change with the slightest thing in this world right now. And I think Legends of Yesterday might have to do with Earth 2. If you guys know what that means. In the comics, Earth 2 is alternate Earth, where there's an alternate version of the Flash, alternate version of everyone, basically. And yeah, I think it's going to have to do with Earth 2. And that's going to be super fun. Super fun. I seriously hope I want Green Lantern. I don't think it's going to happen this half of the season, but I want it. I want it. So next episode is called Restoration. The growing tension between Oliver and Diggle puts both their lives at risk when they go after Damien and a Hive-deployed metahuman. Meanwhile, Laurel talks Thea into returning to Nanda Parbat to ask her father to put Sarah into the Lazarus Pit. However, Laurel is surprised when Nyssa refuses to do it. I mean, I don't know why she would be surprised. When I read that line, I was like, yeah, Nyssa would refuse to do it. She knows better. She tried to stop them from putting Thea in the pit, and they didn't listen. I mean, she knows better. She saw her father kind of go a little crazy. Although, to be fair, as far as crazy Razes go, he was not. He was not that crazy. A little, I mean, he was crazy, but not that crazy. So, that's really all I have to say. I'm just... yeah. Interesting stuff. So, 2 really bad ideas. Like, I think in the history of this show, these are the 2 worst ideas any character has ever had. And that's saying a lot, because a lot of characters in this show have really bad ideas. We'll see how all of that works out. I'm Clio. I'm your host, and you can find me at Clio Moto on the socials and on Twitch at the Clio Moto. And if you go to my Etsy shop, which is Clio Moto Crafts, you can find those wizard hats up there. I don't know if you can see, that's a wizard hat, and that's a wizard hat. I sell them, and they're pretty cool, and I like them, and I would wear them everywhere if it was socially acceptable. And you can find all of us at ASO TV Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, and right here on YouTube. Follow us for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Until next week, when said stupid plans get put into motion. Bye-bye. Seriously, they're all idiots.